Good evening, everyone. It's LFC.Liverpool. Everything about Liverpool. Everything. Got great guests. And got George Scott on. Yes, George Scott. The lost Shankly boy. That's who's on with me tonight. And also Marios in the last hour, hopefully. And I've just got to give a message to the vase of flowers, Lee. And it says, do I need Jason to send me a fresh link to join the stream, Frank? Thing is, look at your emails. He had to send it to your email, and that's where your link is, so you'll be able to come on. Okay, Lee, hope to see you in a moment. And Arthur Schofield says, good evening. Yes, good evening, Arthur. Good evening. And let's hope that we get all the comments tonight, especially about the Reds. And there's this man here. Great man.
Hey.
Here's George. You okay?
Hiya, Frank. I'm good, thanks. Yeah, you all right? Yeah, good.
Yeah. I'm good. Thanks.
Hope everybody's keeping good. Everybody's well and happy after the result the other day.
Oh, absolutely amazing! And as the title's got 3-1 on the roll, and I think we are on the roll. What do you think, George? What do you think that we're on a roll now?
I think we are. I mean, the evidence supports that, doesn't it? I mean, I think we've gone back quite a long time before we've lost a game. I think we've only drawn one and won most of the games. And the way we've won them, mentality monsters is the right name, coming back from behind. At least the other day, we could have been behind early on, and West Ham missed a couple of quite good chances, but then became good and we came back as we always do. And I think we could have scored more in the end.
I think we could have done. It's like the Newcastle game when we came back at them. And see, in the last 5 or 10 minutes against Newcastle, up there, we were the likely winners. We were going all out, not to draw. We were going all out to win, which we did. With Darwin and his brace, absolutely brilliant. So it's not only that, George. It's coming back after being one down.
Yeah.
One down.
And twice with 10 men.
Twice with, well, you stole me thunder there. That's what I was going to say. But the point is as well, I'm glad to see Virgil back. I really am. I'm glad to see him back. And I thought Matip was outstanding as well, alongside him.
Yeah, excellent. Him and Gomez both played really well.
Gomez played very well to Joe. I was made up, I was absolutely delighted with the lads. It's just phenomenal the way we've started from last season. And last season was...
Yeah. It's amazing how we built.
Yeah, we couldn't put the finger on. We couldn't put our finger on what was going on, really.
Yeah.
But you've seen the fatigue, George. You've seen the fatigue in the legs.
Yeah. And there's fresh legs now. Young players are playing now. We've got a much, much stronger midfield. We've got players with skill and ability and pace, and they can run and they can chase. And we've always had a fantastic forward line. But now the midfield's getting up to speed. And the back four on Saturday, played superbly as well,
I think the midfield is absolutely brilliant. And we'll be talking about them. And we'll be picking a team for tomorrow as well. See what team he puts out. I'm bringing in Lee. He calls himself Vase of Flowers. And there he is. There's Lee. Hi, Lee.
Greetings and salutations, everybody.
All right.
That's George, by the way, Lee. George.
Hi, George.
Hi, Lee. You doing okay?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah. All the best for seeing you two now. Hey, don't you think our second string team is much better now? The second string team that we've got now for like Carabao Cup, Europa League is much stronger than in seasons gone by, isn't it?
Yeah, the strength and depth.
Depth
is amazing now compared to it was last year. Last year it was really weak. The strength and depth wasn't there. Now you can put two teams out.
Well, it'll be very interesting tomorrow about Lee and George. What team he actually puts out tomorrow. I'd like to see Gravenberch start. Here's my midfield. I'll give you my midfield. I'd like to see Batatic come in and get some minutes. I'd like to see Elliott getting some minutes and Gravenberch. That would be my midfield.
Yeah.
I know people are saying, well, what about Endo? I think these are better players. I'm sorry to say this, but these are better players anyway, in my opinion. What do you think, George? Do you think that that midfield is good enough tomorrow?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think I was going to say definitely Elliott, definitely Bajcetic if he's playing midfield. He played right back the other day. But he needs minutes. He needs time on the pitch. He's such a long time off. He needs to get up to speed and get fit. And it'd be a great opportunity for him tomorrow if he plays him in the midfield. And also Elliott, to me, he's been outstanding. When he's came on, he's increased the pace of the team and he's helped tremendously in the fight backs. I agree. I agree. Just the three that you said there, Gravenberch as well. He's a wonderful player and we haven't seen the best of him yet.
No.
He's only just starting, isn't he? He's only 21, isn't he?
Yeah, 21, yeah. And when you think...
He looks much older.
Well, when you think, though, George, he didn't play at all. Well, he had a few games, but that was about it. So he's really ring rusty, as they say. So, yeah, he has to get up to speed. But
I think he'll definitely play. He'll definitely play, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure of that also. So, Lee, what that midfield of Batatic, Elliott and Gravenberch, would you pick that?
For me, I'd like to see Endo, Bajcetic and Gravenberch, and then have Elliott where Salah usually plays, but give him and Doak a half each because we can't play everybody. That's the sad thing. Even though we're resting our main players, we can't play everybody. So I give Doak and Elliott a half each on the right wing, and I play Bajcetic, Gravenberch and Endo together. I'd like to see that. It sounds like it's quite a strong midfield, that, with lots of legs, and they can all tackle and they can all run. So I'd like to see that, yeah. And possibly Núñez and Gakpo with whoever's on the right wing. Like to see Núñez start again because he's young, he's fit. Let him play, let him keep scoring every game. Give the lad the opportunity to show who he is. A lot of people are saying, no, don't start Núñez, but I reckon we do. Start Núñez.
What do you agree with Lee by starting Núñez, George?
No, I don't think Núñez will start, to be honest.
I don't think he will.
I think he needs a rest. He's a big player for us now. We've got a huge game against Spurs at the weekend. I agree with Lee about Doak. I think Doak should play because they won't play Salah, I shouldn't think, either to start with, because he needs to be protected. So I would like to see Doak play because I think that young lad needs to get up and earn his Spurs and get on there and show what he can do because he's got great talent, even if he plays for half the game. I think I tend to agree with Frank about Endo. I'd rather see Gravenberch in midfield and Elliott definitely in midfield. But I was going to think maybe even Curtis Jones, So we've got such an array of choice. I mean, we could put any one of them in, really, couldn't we? And then we could bring somebody in off the bench if it's not going well. He can do whatever he wants tomorrow. He's got a great, as Lee said earlier, the backup, the squad is so strong. If we're doing well, leave them on. If we're not, bring in Núñez, bring in Gakpo, bring in Jota, But, I think we'll start off probably, as you said, with Gravenberch, Elliott, and one of the other three, any one of the three, really.
Well, when you look at it, we'll talk about the forwards, and the forwards for tomorrow, Doak has to play. Yeah. He has to be unleashed against the Foxes. Also, I'd like to, Jota, I think Jota will be playing. He'll be up front with someone. Who would you like to see on either wing? I don't want Mo Salah playing. Really want you just leave them on the bench. Leave the big players on the bench. And if things start to go wrong, bring them on. It's as simple as that. But I think that the lads who will pick are quite capable of getting a good result at Anfield.
Yeah, and I think Leicester might play a weakened side as well because they're really looking to get promotion. They're up
Yeah.
at the top of the championship.
Yeah.
And I think he might make quite a few changes as well, from his normal team. I would say Gakpo, Jota, and Doak would probably be up front tomorrow. I don't know, though. I mean, as I said, he's got such a choice.
No,
I don't want Nunes to play, to start with anyway.
I think I'm sorry there, George. I think Gakpo and Jota will be the front two, to be honest. What do you think, Lee? Who's your
Yeah, I think he'll do that. I think he'll go Gakpo and Jota, and Doe. Yeah, that's what I'd like to see to start. The only other thing is, like I said, fitting Bajcetic, Elliott, Endo, and Gravenberch all into a 3-man midfield. Not everyone can get a game, so one of them's going to, unless of course Bajcetic plays right back again.
Yeah,
it could happen, and steps into the midfield. We'll see. But it's looking good, isn't it? You can see that it's coming, that the new players are gelling. It's, you have to be a blind man not to see it. You can see it's gelling, it's coming together. The old players are forgotten now. They're gone but not forgotten. But in terms of like our team now, them players are done and dusted now. We've got new players. It's a new season. Let's get on with it.
Well, Jurgen's building his new squad. He's building his new team, isn't he? He's in a process of rebuilding, and it started off very well. He's not going to finish till he succeeds, and we go all the way, I'm sure.
That's right. I think he's both right. I'll just say, I'll read out a few comments if you don't mind, lads. Stephen Snape says, good point that Vars. Our attacking options are frightening, as are the other squad members. And Neil Broderick, positive Sunday. We continue with our run of 17 games without a loss in the Premiership. Negatives, once again, we could have been 2-0 down, only for a world-class save and a missed sitter. Gomez, man of the match for me. The one thing Matip does, he carries the ball 40 yards. Hansen, you look at the bench, it's very strong. Last 20 minutes, West Ham looked shattered and we looked fresh. And that's a very good point. When we did look fresh. And Brian Edley says, all right, lads, great to hear you. You need to stop this nonsense of giving away. It's absolutely scandalous for the LFC. We do this next 2 games, we will get beat. Oh, well, that's a bit negative, isn't it?
Well, I do agree with him about the headers, though. I do agree with him about the lacks for the crosses. I mean, they scored a goal with a header. He got in ahead of Van Dijk, but the other one, Antonio should have scored. I mean, it was an open goal. I'm glad he didn't, after what he was saying before the game.
Yeah. Michael Sutton says, absolutely, our feet. And that's a good. And Brian says, of course, we will outscore many teams now, but it's making me too nervy. It will have to stop before Saturday. But on the other than this, it's to everyone on the other hand, it's a joy to watch. It's a joy to watch, as he says. And he's right. It is a joy to watch because, as you said, George, the mentality monster is back. And it's been proved with going behind and coming back and winning comfortably, by the way. Winning comfortably.
Yeah.
The only snag we had was against where it was a bit dodgy, Newcastle. We won 2-0, but as I mentioned, we were the only ones likely to score in the last 5 or 10 minutes. And we did. Yeah. And we kept them out. And that was a great win, That was a marvellous win.
I mean, getting the lines down there in Newcastle, that's a tremendous atmosphere. And to be 10 men and come back and win like that was just incredible.
And that's
a question for George here, Frank. Somebody mentioned Alan Hansen then in the comments. What did you reckon of Alex Ferguson not taking Hansen to Mexico 86? Remember, he didn't have Hansen in the squad. He was a fan of McLeish and Miller, wasn't he? And Kenny refused to go, didn't he, to Mexico under Fergie because Fergie didn't take Hansen.
Well,
No.
Fergie was wrong. He was wrong not to take Hansen. Hansen was one of the best players he could have possibly had in the Scottish squad at that time. He was in his prime. He was coming forward from the back. Like the lad said before, like Matty, Alan Hansen used to drive forward and use the ball well. He was a wonderful player. So I was quite surprised at that time that Alex Ferguson didn't take him. I think he should have took him.
It was nice that Kenny like turned round and said, "Do you know what? I'm not going either."
Yeah,
that's a bit strong. I wouldn't.
He wanted Kenny to go. Fergie wanted Kenny to go, but Kenny went, "Well, you're not taking Alan." Well, I'm not coming then.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I remember that well. Yeah, it was because Kenny was just on the borderline of retired, and wasn't he? 86. Yeah. He just
but Ferguson wanted him there for the experience. He was still a great player. He was still a great player.
And Souness too. Souness was still quite good, wasn't he, in 86? Still putting his foot in for Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were all great players.
And let's just say a couple of these. Brian McGivern, Brian Headley says, McAllister plays a great second half. He sure did. Steve Evans. All right, Frank, boss catch up this morning. And nice one again for our Dylan shirt, mate. Even in Frank, George and Lee.
Nice.
Brian Snapey says, I agree with Lee. Keep Núñez scoring while playing alongside other forwards. That's right.
Come on, he's not going to break, is he, Frank? He's dead young and fit. He's not going to break if we play him for the first half. Just play him in the first half. See if he can bag a goal or two and then whip him off.
Yes. No, I agree with you. But, you know, the way Liverpool's injuries...
and he's not started that many games, you know what I mean? He's come on as sub more often than not in the league, hasn't he? How many league games has he started? 2.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're very protective. They're very protective of the players these days, aren't they? I mean, you know, they really are. Fighting the death of injuries. We've been hit by injuries in the last couple of years, which have killed our season. Yeah. And if anything happens to Núñez or Salah, you know, it's going to knock us back a bit. So I'd love to see him playing. I'd like to see him play every game.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll play him tomorrow to start with.
To be honest, I don't think he will. I think he'll play Gapco with Jota.
Yeah.
He'll play them. Joke will get a game. Because as Charlie Wood says, Joke scares people.
Yeah.
And he does. He's an unknown quantity, you see.
Yeah.
He's an unknown quantity. And he's brilliant. He's only going to get better as the years roll on. He's going to be one of our greats, in my opinion, that is. And Arthur Schofield says, even in all, glad to see you well and look forward to your comments on our great LFC. Isn't that nice?
Arthur.
Isn't that lovely? Thank you, Arthur. Thank you so much. I'll just go through these and then we'll get back to Soboslai, says Steve Evans, gonna be heads and shoulders above any midfielders in the Prem.
Yeah, what a player.
You agree with that, Lee, and you agree with that, George.
Absolutely.
100%.
And Stephen Snape says, psychologically, Newcastle was massive for us. It was.
Yeah,
it was. And Brian McGivern, Brian Headley, probably because we win the double. How about that?
Be good.
How about that for positiveness?
Yeah.
That'd be good, wouldn't it, to win the double?
Well on the way.
Hey guys, hope you're all well, says Keegan Murphy. Thank you, Keegan. What a name he's got, Keegan.
Yeah.
Great name, man. Great name, man.
Definitely after
named after somebody.
Yeah, definitely named after somebody. And Brian Henry says, Frank, ask George, can he remember the late Davy Cooper's free kick against Australia that got Scotland to that World Cup? It was a screamer at Hampden.
Yeah, I remember it very well. Yeah, it got me right out of my seat. He was a wonderful player, Davy Cooper, absolute legend.
Brilliant, Davy Cooper. Brilliant.
Absolutely. It's like Jimmy Johnson on one wing and Davy Cooper on the other. Wow, what a pair of wingers. One from Celtic, one from Rangers, and sadly he died too young.
I had a picture of Davy Cooper on my wall, and I didn't usually put opposition players up, but I had a picture of him in his Scotland kit on my wall when I was about 13, because he was that good.
Yeah.
And I liked wingers. I was a winger when I played footy, but I used to get stuck in it right back a lot, like, you know what I mean? But I always loved wingers because that's what I wanted to be myself at heart, like.
Do you know who I had hanging on my wall, Lee?
Oh.
Sophia Loren.
Good choice.
You've seen a lot of Bridget.
Yeah, Brigitte Bardot.
Do you remember Ornella Muti, who was Ming's daughter in Flash Gordon?
Yeah.
Another Italian actress, like.
Yeah, absolutely. The great auntie. Luciana Paluzzi as well. Luciana.
I had tea with Elizabeth Taylor.
Claudia Cardinal, remember her? Claudia Cardinal. She was in the first Pink Panther film.
Yeah, Claudia Cardinal. Yeah.
I remember her.
Well, I seen her recently. You know, I took me like bumped into her in Sainsbury's or somewhere, and she looks totally different.
Yeah,
totally. You know, because she was very glamorous lady. Can we talk about football, lads?
Forget Italian actresses. Let's get back to the footy.
Yeah. Neil Broderick, the sign of a great side. All the guys sat around me in the Kenny Road stand, all picked a different man of the match. You could have given it to at least 6 players. And that's a point. That's a point because I gave it to Szoboszlai because Szoboszlai was everywhere. And I'm talking everywhere, right up to the final whistle. That lad, he was everywhere and he was brilliant, absolutely. So I gave it to him. People gave it to, I think that's a very good point by Neil. And when you look at the way people were picking the likes of Joe Gomez, Matip as well, you know, they were picking him. Even McAllister was getting a shout, and so was Curtis Jones. And I think we forget about Curtis Jones, by the way. You know, because the way the limelight's shining on Szoboszlai and also McAllister. And I think Jones,
that's good for Curtis, Frank. I think that's good for Curtis, that the spotlight's off him a bit and he can just go about his business quietly, you know what I mean?
I think that's a very good
He's
point.
growing in the team. He's growing as a player, growing in the team, getting used to it, knows exactly what Klopp wants from him now. And he covers a lot of ground, doesn't he? Like Szoboszlai, he covered loads of ground against West Ham.
I think that's a very, very good point, to be honest, because all the focus was on him for the last couple of seasons. And I think it was getting to him. And now with the focus being off him, he's playing a lot better because he started to play when he started to get picked at the back end of the season because Klopp didn't know what to do. He had to pick somebody. And when Curtis came in, he just showed, he was showing people up for what they were.
He's like a new signing, Frank. He's like a new signing. It's like bringing a 60 million pound player in. He's at the games now. He's got the experience now, and he's playing with 2 superstars in McAllister and Szoboszlai, who he's going to learn more from. And I just think he's fantastic, Curtis Jones, the way he's come on. I mean, a year or 2 ago, people were writing them off. So good luck to the lad. He's been brilliant.
Totally
he was only a hair's breadth away from being onside, wasn't he, for that goal?
I think it was his hand.
Fine margins.
It was his hand. And that was a cracking. He took it brilliantly because the ball just fell to him, bang, get in. And
he's good at those types of finishes, isn't he, Curtis? You know, where he just steals in and he just cushions it past the keeper. Doesn't smash it, just cushions it past the keeper. There you go, into the corner. He's good at them, like Curtis.
Well,
He's a
Charlie
skilled
Wood
lad, isn't
says,
he? He's a highly skilled lad, and that's all there is to it.
yeah, he's got it. Yeah,
Yes.
he's got great talent. He's a talented
True.
lad. And, you know, given the run that he's been to, you can't leave him out.
No.
You know, because there's your midfields of McAllister, Slabozlai, and Curtis Jones.
It's your first choice, yeah.
The first choice, absolutely.
Yeah.
Charlie Wood says, have you been reading the rubbish about all the players we are buying in January? It's absolutely ridiculous, Charlie, because what we've got, I know for a fact that we are going in for one certain player, and we'll get him, and that's Andre of Fluminense, you know, the Brazilian lad. I think we'll get him because we need a number 6, and he's a proper number 6. Can I just ask the people out there to press the likes, please? You know, cost nothing. Just press. If you haven't subscribed, just subscribe, please. Cost nothing again. And your comments will be read out, like these comments here, and discussed by the panel here.
I think only having one Brazilian in Alisson is not enough. We need another Brazilian, don't we? One Brazilian ain't enough. All the best teams have plenty of Brazilians.
Yeah.
And Scots as well, George. Liverpool will be nothing without Scots. That's why Joe
We've
is
had plenty.
there. Joe,
plenty.
Robbo, and Ramsey. Ramsey, when he comes back from Preston, like Shankly came from Preston all those years ago. Ramsey might come back from Preston and do his own thing, mightn't he? Like as a right back.
When I was playing the Saints, so many Scots players that Tommy Smith said, Bob Paisley said, is the boss signing players for the Highland Games? He's a true Scouser, Tommy. He's seen all these Scottish guys coming in.
Yeah. We've never been long without any Scottish player. I think there was a time when we got Charlie Adam. We hadn't had a Scottish player for a few years. And
That's right. Yeah.
It just doesn't seem right, George. It doesn't seem right for Liverpool to not have a Scottish player. We were founded by a Scotsman, weren't we?
Yeah.
Charlie Adam, though. Come on, Charlie Adam.
Oh, no, yeah.
He's a legend on FC TV. He's a legend on that. He only plays a season. You've got him on LFC talking about, and he's always saying, we are us. You know, that's all right, Charlie. Anyway, let's not forget Trent still to come back as well. Put his passing range into our current team, and the creativity rises exponentially.
Yeah, and all this, Thiago has been completely forgotten about, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Fabulous player.
I still like Thiago, but it's hard at the moment. We've got that many new midfielders. It's hard to see where he's going to fit in when he comes back, isn't it?
Yeah,
he just can't get fit. He can't get fit. He's been out for months.
He's been out since February. And if you've been out that long, it's like young Gravenberch. Now, young Gravenberch, you know, he's 21 years of age, and he still needs match fitness. Now, there's Thiago. He's been out since February. He didn't have any pre-season whatsoever.
Right.
What's he going to do? What's he going to do?
You need games to get fit. Once your body's fit, you've got to get match fit.
That's right. And, you know, this is what people are forgetting because they're saying, wait till Thiago comes back. And I think
I'll tell you where I can see Thiago this season is if we're having a really good season and then we come in for some crucial games like away to City or whatever, he might play Thiago then. So we can try and keep hold of the ball a bit better. Who knows? But them type of games, the big games against Arsenal, City, they're the only two good ones, aren't they? All the rest are crap.
Yeah, very frustrating for the lad.
Well, Soulboy says he won't start Nunes. Spurs away Saturday, much more important. Agreed. And I reckon that was there for Ferguson not bringing Jockey Hansen to the World Cup, the double. points as well.
Yeah.
And Charlie Wood says, what positions did Sophia play for?
Don't comment, Frank.
I could come off with a thing, but I'll get banned. Oh, I don't believe this. Listen, lads, we can't be going on about Monica Bellucci and everyone's coming on here. Right. Scary thing, lads. I think Diaz still isn't in top gear. Gomez is playing well, says Brian.
I think Diaz is unbelievable. And the difference he makes when he's up and he's running, he turns games. He's fantastic. I think Diaz.
I think this is a good point, and I want you to say, your opinion on this. I think this is a very, very good point. I know, I'll just get it up. And it's Daryl Merry.
Frankie.
No. Hiya, Daryl. I hope you're well. Macca playing out of position and still putting performance in despite once he gets the silly Lucas-like card tackles out of the way, he'll be world class. That pass for Nunes on Sunday was footy porn, says Steve Evans, and we've been talking about Italian actresses, and he comes up with footy porn. So
it's one of those assists and passes that's burned into the retinas of your eyes for all eternity.
Yeah.
Once you've seen it, you're not going to forget it, are you? Like?
No, because he just seen. And someone, I was looking at something, not on here, and he said it wasn't meant for Nunes. Of course it was meant for him. It was just right over.
It was.
Who said that? Gary Neville.
Who else was it meant for? Who else was it? There was only Nunes.
Exactly. It must have been meant for their goalkeeper. I don't know. I think that was a bit silly to come out with a thing like that.
Anyway, he's already world class. He's a World Cup winner.
Yeah. See, I was talking to Steve Evans during half time, and I said to him, "What do you think of McAllister's show now?" And this was during the first half, because he kept getting caught in midfield. Now, don't forget that it's not his role. He's a more forward midfielder, and when he went forward, that's the kind of passes he gives for the likes of Nunes, for the likes of anybody. And again, look at Jota's goal. People tend to forget, just slotted Jota the slaughter, just put one away, you expect him to, or whatever. That ball came at him with speed. Speed had come at him.
Remember when they used to say fox in the box, Frank? They used to call players like Fowler fox in the box. That's what Jota is, isn't he?
He certainly is.
Yeah, full dodger.
He's a natural striker. Natural striker like Ian Rush was.
Yeah, Rushy. Barzy, these Scottish players are monsters, says Brian Headley.
Sure are.
How does the Brazilian coach not start Alisson?
Because he's an unmitigated imbecile, Keegan. That's why.
Yeah.
He plays a City guy, doesn't he?
To be honest, I'm amazed up that he's just right, but I'm amazed up he doesn't start them. I really am. I always am.
Sort of, but Alisson's still got to travel, hasn't he? He's got to go all that way and then not play.
For nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing, to sit on a bench.
He's the best goalkeeper. He's the best goalkeeper on the planet, so he should be actually playing for the Brazilian team, no question about it. Not just because he's a Liverpool player, genuinely.
Do you know what, George? I always said, even on LFC TV, when I picked my, favourite 11, going back a few years ago, I put Clements there. I put Clements in goal.
Yeah.
I said, there's no one better than him. I think Alisson is going to succeed him, to supersede him as The greatest
thing is,
goal.
he makes it look easy. Alisson, he makes it look easy. He doesn't look as if he's troubled when he makes these saves.
Yeah,
he just gets.
absolutely.
Look at that save from that header. That was a great save. It was going inside the post, and he dived across and tipped it past the post. Brilliant.
Well, Soulboy says if we do get a proper number 6, Szoboszlai and McAllister will be scary.
Yeah.
And he will be scary. Imagine that. Imagine McAllister, and Szoboszlai in the proper positions with a number 6 behind him, like a Fabinho type player. And this is why I'd love Andre. I said we should have got him in the summer. But Flamazy, they were doing things and whatever. They said, no, leave it till January. And the words is that we are going to get him. It's as simple as that. I've seen this lad. He's absolutely brilliant. And he gets stuck in. He's quick as well. He's all over the place.
And he's young.
And Keegan Murphy says, Thiago won't even play this season, in my opinion. And that's another...
There's a good chance that'll happen, Keegan. There's a good chance that'll happen, that he'll hardly play. That's even if he does get fit. We're assuming that he'll get fit and be available for selection. That might not even happen.
Well, Thiago is the highest, third highest earner at LFC, says Mark Simon.
No, it's not. Salah.
The third highest, George.
Oh, sorry. I thought I said highest. Yeah, apologize.
What are you drinking there, George? Not vodka, is it?
Hold on, Frank. I'll change my glasses. There you are. Well, I see. Yeah. Got my seeing glasses. I've got my readers on now.
What are you like? See, don't forget, it's never mind. Lads, how good is this at the moment? The worst that can happen in my eyes this year is we finish runners-up in the league, win the Europa League, which both will get us back into the Champions League. I think we'll win the Europa League.
I do. Really do. I think that's getting won, mate. I can't see anyone in it that's going to stop us. Can you? Seville are in it.
No.
Can't see anyone who's going to stop us.
No, there's no one there at the moment. There's nobody. Tomorrow will be Doak, Gakpo, and Jota, says Daryl Merry.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we said that. Yeah, that's a good point. Charlie Wood, a lot of fans understand the difference between fit and match fit. And that's a very good point as well.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
There is a huge difference. I
remember Bayern Munich fans warning us when we bought Thiago. They said he's brilliant, but he's always injured. It's basically that's exactly what a Munich fan. It was on YouTube on a comment thing that said the guy's a fantastic player, but he's always injured.
Well, they're right.
You were right.
Yeah. I remember when Canete was coming into Liverpool, and not only Canete, but also maybe Keita.
Keita, yeah. Oh,
yeah. And our Francine said, do you know that these are injured? Keita first, she said, this fella's injury prone, Dad. He's injury prone. And that she was proved right. And when Canete was coming, she said the same. She said, Dad, he's injury prone. And I said, are you sure? She said, yeah, I'm sure. And she was proved right again because Canete, he gets injured so easy. So easy.
Him and Thiago are the same, Frank. It's always muscle injuries. It's always calf injuries, muscle injuries with them. It's not like the knee or their ankle. It's always a muscle injury, like a muscle strain with them.
Yes.
I hope Canate outgrows it because he's still only about 22 or something. I hope Canate can outgrow it and leave it behind him. But Thiago, he's done and dusted, isn't he, really? He's yesterday's news now. If he gets fit, I can see Jürgen using him in a few games.
Yeah, he will get used. He will get used. I'll tell you what he might get used in if he gets fit. The Europa League.
Yeah,
I think he'll get used in that.
he will.
And he's
Yeah.
good for the kids as well. He's good.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember him giving who was it? Was it Darwin or someone a kiss?
Before he came on as a sub, yeah.
That's not how funny. You see Klopp, he looks
Yeah.
at him. What's going on here? Get in the showers. Anyway, what do you think of this, boys? Soulboy says Justin Ulysses. Some name that, isn't it? Justin Ulysses. Soulboy Fran. Facts, mate. This is why our defence is shaky, because we don't have a proper DM. And I totally agree. What do you think, George? A proper DM. And that's why the defence is shaky.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier, if you've got a proper DM in there, number 6 in there, it allows McAllister to go forward and play his natural game, feeding the front men.
Yeah.
And Szoboszlai's up and down anyway, up and down the pitch, all over the place, you know. So I think he's right there. I think, you know, if we can get Andre in and he fits the bill and that's the sort of player he is, that'll improve us even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And he does, honestly, George, he fits the bill.
My opinion on that one, on the DM, Frank, is that Klopp definitely sees Endo as playing a lot of games, you know, a lot of big games. It's just he's got to bet him in a little bit at first, because the number 6 role in our system is a tough gig, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a very tough gig. Remember when we bought Fabinho? He didn't play him immediately. Fabinho was on the bench for ages, and he kept with Milner, Wijnaldum and Henderson at the beginning of that season. Fabinho sat there for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and didn't start, I don't think. So look at that if you want to look at Endo and make your own mind up.
Yeah, because we haven't seen the best of him yet, have we? He's only played a few games and he's not really...
He's only just got here. Macher and Sobbo got here weeks ago and had the pre-season. Endo came right at the end of the transfer window.
I know Klopp rates him. He's captain of Japan and they beat Germany 4-1.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's no mug, you know, and he could do a good job, but he will be used. He'll be used throughout the season. But it'll be up to him. If he performs like Szoboszlai's performed, you'll never be out of the team.
No. And that's why it's been proven, the midfield now, because every one of them are performing. Every one of them.
If Endo was on that tour that we did to Germany and the Far East and played against all them teams, he'd have probably started more, but because he came at the end of the window, it made it tough. And that position, more than any other, is tough to just step into, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's not an easy position to play. You've got to time to bed in.
Not in
like you said about Fabinho. Fabinho took a long time to bed in.
He did take a long time. And Mark Simon says Ben Doker's the next Jinky Johnson. How many times have he said that, George?
When he played for Scotland, under 21s at Hampden against Spain. I watched it and he was unbelievable, unplayable in that game. And he made a lot of people sit up and take notice. Spanish press were raving about him. So he's a bit unfortunate because he's got Salah in front of him. So that's his natural position. So he's limited in the games up till now, but he's going to have to unleash him sooner or later.
Yeah, of course. And Mark Simons again says the Sobbo pass for Curtis Jones offside goal was even better than McAllister's. It wasn't. I think they were very similar. Whereas it was direct from McAllister. It was direct. Yes, it was across the goal, you know, across the 18-yard box.
It was the delicacy of both balls, Frank. It was the delicacy of McAllister's and Szoboszlai's balls into the box there. They just like caressed them in, didn't they? Like, you know what I mean? It was just like really slowly. Yeah. And the defenders were just like, all right, we can see this, but we can't stop it.
Yeah. No. And Terrell Mary says, Andre will be our 6 to let Szoboszlai and McAllister go. This is so right. And Neil Brother, Gapco, Jota, Doak up front. We've all said this, by the way, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm sure.
The filthy pass of Maka helps us to get over the loss of Bobby, who consistently pulled these kinky moves during his time with
You
the
did.
Reds. And so I said that. I was talking to Steve today, and I said, it reminds me, that reminds me of the great. I'll tell you what I said to him. I said to him, Bobby Firmino, the way he puts little balls through, and that's what type of balls he was putting through. He put through to Darwin the other day, McAllister. But what I did say to him, whether you agree or not, it's the role of Mo Salah now, because Mo Salah to me is playing the Bobby Firmino role. That's why he's got so many assists already. I think he's absolutely out of this world, to be honest. I really do. Justin Ulysses. I keep reading we will bid for Guimaraes this January. It's only what Charlie Wood said, we're being linked to game with all these players. Yeah. And we really don't need this. I'm not saying you, Justin. I'm not saying you.
That's a nonsense link. It's palpable nonsense, the link with Guimaraes. There's no chance Newcastle will sell him to us. No chance.
No.
It's media stories.
It's just, it's hype.
You've got to write something.
Yeah, they have to write something. So
the editors demand them to produce something, so they come up with anything.
If we were ever going to buy Guimaraes, we'd have bought him off Leon before Newcastle did.
Yeah,
we should learn from what happened in the closed season. All that talk of Casado and Lavia and went on and on for weeks. They ended up going to Chelsea. They've done nothing at Chelsea. I think Casado gave away a goal in his first game. Lavia's injured long term now. So, and all that talk, we should learn from that. I trust Jurgen. Jurgen knows what he wants.
We missed out on Guimaraes and Paqueta. They both went to Leon, didn't they? A lot of good Brazilian players go to Leon because it's a club with a good reputation in it, Leon. So, I think we should have been in quicker for them. We should have beat West Ham and Newcastle to the punch for them too.
I'll tell you what's just come out. Tell you what's just come out. Liverpool were actually in talks to sign Amrabat. And he said, give me 24 hours or something. And next day, we signed Gravenberch. So what do you think of that? That's incredible.
Gravenberch.
Yeah. Is it Birch or Berch? I don't know.
Berch, you pronounce it Gravenberch. Gravenberch in the Dutch tongue. Gravenberch.
Well, I'm not going to go around saying, what do you think?
No, neither am I. Neither am I. He's Gravenberch to me.
You've got some great names in the team.
Oh, Gravy, he'll be all right, wouldn't he? Get Gravy in. He'll do the job. Charlie would say Jota is an old-fashioned poacher. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And Stephen Snape, Diaz has that rarity that can stretch teams on his own. His pace and power scares opposition defenses. Absolutely right. And Mark Simon says, Jürgen wants 3 solid defensive attacking midfielders, not reliant on one DM, which is what Pep Linders did in Holland. That is the new Liverpool. Yeah,
that's a brilliant comment, that, Mark. Brilliant comment, that. I get exactly what you mean. I get exactly where you're coming from with that one.
John Gray says, I still think we're lacking in defensive cover.
That's me little brother. That's me brother, Frank.
So what's
the family invading the program, eh?
So what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Lee? Is your little brother right? We're lacking in defensive cover.
We should have bought a centre-half, a left-footed centre-half in the summer.
I was screaming out. Well, George would tell you, I was screaming out all season for that. The close season. All the close season, I was screaming for the left-sided centre-back.
We all were, weren't we, Frank? I think 90% of the Liverpool fan base was screaming to do it. The only
Yeah.
ones I heard who weren't screaming were like American ones in our fan base that you see, and they didn't want to slag FSG off, so they said, "No, we've got enough defenders."
Yeah. Yeah, like last season. Charlie Woods, Thiago is the new Ox. Whoa. You know, obviously it's for injuries.
That's unfair on Ox. Ox had a better record. Ox was all right when he first came.
Yeah.
Thiago got injured in his first game, but it was a horrible challenge from Richarlison, wasn't it? It was a nasty one from Richarlison. But he got injured in his first bloody appearance, mate.
What, you know, when you talk about Oxlade-Chamberlain, what reminds you, you know, someone mentions him, what comes to mind? What springs to your mind?
Long shots.
Yeah.
Ripping it into the goal from 30 or 25 yards repeatedly.
The one in the cup against Man City.
Yeah.
Champions League.
Yeah.
What a
That
goal.
was fantastic, though.
Yeah, he can shoot from outside the penalty box, which we don't see too much.
Do you remember his dad, Mark Chamberlain, for England years ago? Remember Mark Chamberlain?
I do.
When we didn't have very many black players then. We had Viv Anderson, Mark Chamberlain. Then we had like Barnesy. There weren't many in them days. In the 80s.
When I played for Liverpool, there was one in the country, Albert Johansson. The
Johansson,
he was the only black player in the whole of the Football League.
Yeah.
It is 65.
Yeah. I remember Trebilcock playing for Everton.
Yeah.
I
was glad to tell me. We came back on the coach from Portsmouth with Mike Trebilcock, and he was telling me all about when he was picked for the final and Fred Pickering was injured. An amazing story.
Yeah.
And he became a legend. Scored 2 goals. Yeah.
And that's all. Unfortunately, that's the game that they just remember him by. Trebilcock.
It's not a bad game to be remembered by, though, Frank, is it?
I was a young lad, you know, check the lad sort of thing, football. And I was down there for the Everton final because I bumped on the train with all these Evertonians, you know, they were all mates. And I was bevied. I was actually bevied, and I was walking with them all. Wembley Way.
You got drunk to go to a football match?
No, I got drunk the night before. It was a Friday night, and everyone went so. We all went
right.
Well, the funniest thing about that final is a guy that ran on the pitch, Eddie Cavana. He ran on the pitch, and a policeman chased him the length of Wembley and pulled his braces.
Oh, yeah. My dad went to that final, but he didn't have a ticket. My dad's an Evertonian. And him and his mate from round here hitchhiked to London for the 66 Cup final. And they got let in 20 minutes before the end. They went all that way for 20 minutes at the end. Like, I think they were only, my dad was 15 at the time. Like, but yeah, he's a blue, my dad.
But he was there for the celebrations, wasn't he? He got there to see the
Cup. Thankfully, my mum and my stepdad are Liverpool fans, you know what I mean? So from the age of 7, I've been a Liverpool fan.
Well, listen,
guided in the right direction,
What do you think of this comment here? And it's from Jake Whittaker. Why should we have to rely on the Europa League? I'm a Cape Verde. What's that? I don't understand.
I know. I was trying to suss that out. I know Cape Verde is a really luscious, lovely place somewhere. Like I've heard that much about it.
Yeah.
Well,
there's 2 Cape Verdes. There's one in East Senegal, which is an island, and that's where they kept the slaves in a place called the Gorry. The Gorry, a big fortress called the Gorry. And the other Cape Verde, as you know, is around the Canaries and places like that. I'm not quite
sure.
Yeah, that's the one I'm more familiar with, Frank. The one around the Canaries. Yeah.
I always remember someone said, it was a girl actually, she said, I'm going to Canaries, you know. And I went, so are you? I said, so what's to see the Canaries, like, you know, with all the little birds, Canaries? She said, are they there, are they? I said, I'm going to budget gas. She said, where's that?
Hey, I've been
Like
the
the Canary
Canaries.
Islands.
I've been the Canaries, but it was only a stop on a flight when I was 7. It is the what are they called? Las Palmas. Las Palmas. That's the Canary Islands, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know there's a madness song, the Las Palmas 7, but that's where we stopped, Las Palmas, like on our plane when I was a kid.
Tenerife, Lanzarote, and there was another one as well. Tenerife, Lanzarote, Gran Canaria, and Madeira.
Yeah. Well, did you know that, here's a little trivia for you, lads. Did you know that Liverpool in 1848, the city, brought over the very first in the world, by the way, no other country did it, no other city, and we brought over from Africa a gorilla. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, that's a bit of history. That first in the world, we brought a gorilla over in 1840.
That must have been astonishing to see, mustn't it? You know, for people who've never seen exotic animals before in them days, like that must have been like highly strange, wasn't it, for them to have seen this?
I think when
they might have heard of one before, like to see it.
I think when
a different time, wasn't it?
I think when people, you know, first seen Tommy Smith, they must have thought he was a gorilla. He just charged into people. It's crazy.
Simon said he wasn't born; he was quarried.
Yeah, that's right.
Said that's what we said last time, wasn't it, Frank? When you mentioned Claudio Gentile, and I said Gentile wasn't a great name for a player like him, was it?
Gentile, yeah. Because
that's for sure.
If it's spelt the English way, you know, it's gentile, gentile, gentile rather. You know, gentle person. Teams won't be dropping down the Champions League, says Neil Broderick. Teams won't be dropping down. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
That's true. That's great.
Yeah, when did that happen?
That's true.
Sorry.
Jake Whittaker's saying, why should we rely on the Europa League? Because
we're in it. We're in it.
We're in it to win it.
We're in the Europa League, so we've no choice.
I've not heard that the teams don't drop down this year.
I haven't heard that, no.
I haven't heard that myself.
They must have revamped it pretty radically like that.
Yeah.
Klopp will use Thiago to put him in the shop window, says Stephen Snape.
Yeah, he'll probably go at the end of the season, Frank, I think.
I think he could go in January, no.
January, yeah, because otherwise you go for a free.
And Daryl Merry says Andre and Insapi will 100% be signed in January.
Well, we'll see.
He's great, that Insapi as well. Is that how you pronounce his name, Insapi or Incapi? Anyway, whoever it is. Yes, John Gray, my only worry is this. These 3 headers from 6 yards out, 2 against Wolves, 4 against West Ham.
Yeah, that is a worry.
It is a worry, of course. Thiago, fantastic, but he's always injured, says Jake Whittaker.
Yeah.
And lads, do you think Jürgen should have kept Minamino, says Brian Headley?
No, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
No.
He's doing well where he is, and he got money for him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's at Monaco, isn't he? Didn't he go to Monaco?
I think so, yeah. And Endo said he was talking to him before he came here, and he was talking very highly about the club and how he would enjoy it.
Well, Stephen Snape says Enzo's highly thought of in German football. Waterloo will prove his point. Lee's right about Fabinho. He was here a few months before he was playing regularly. The point says, say Stephen Snape, that is. I remember Arsenal buying a couple of German players, Ozil, for example, and he never quite made it. There's been a few Germans that haven't quite made it. And albeit that he's all right over there in Germany, it doesn't mean to say that he's going to be the same here, and highly thought of. That's the way I look at it anyway.
No, it's true that a lot of players coming from Germany have flopped, but you could say that about any foreign country.
Yeah,
I would say
absolutely.
more Italian players have flopped in the Premier League. Talking about, I'm not saying players coming from Italy. I mean, actual Italian players have not been that successful. Only the forwards, the midfielders, the Italian midfielders over the years, none of them have really succeeded, have they?
No.
Tonali looks good, but I can't think of an Italian midfielder that's come to the Prem and really flourished.
No.
We only had Aquilani, didn't he? And he was turd, wasn't he, Aquilani?
Alberto, yeah. But the point is,
we had quite a few French players when Julio was in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skillful 24-carat flop, nevertheless.
Yeah. Pongoli and Latala.
Yeah, it was a few duds.
Yeah. And Shearer, remember him?
Bruno, the Bruno fella.
Yeah. he was the next Zidane.
Zidane, yeah. Julio said he reminds me of Zizou.
Yeah. We should always go for the Premier League and the Champions League, says Jake Whittaker. This is what we hope every season, Jake, honestly.
That's what we're going for this year, without a doubt.
But unfortunately, we're not in the CL. We're not in the CL. This is why we should just go and try and win.
It will be this year.
But I understand. Pass of the game was Sobo's cheeky back heel flick to bamboozle the West Ham player, says John Gray.
It was saucy, wasn't it, John? That was a saucy bloody pass, that, wasn't it?
But he did it twice. He did it twice. Not once, he did it twice, by the way. McAllister and Szoboszlai's passing range with Trent's contributions could unlock many teams going forward. And Daryl Merry says, Bobby, only one I miss.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Did you see the Bobby documentary on Liverpool TV, LFC TV? Anybody? No. The Bobby documentary. It's a 2-part one. It's lovely. It tells you about where he's from and everything. Macau, it's called. And you see his family and that, like, and how proud they were, you know, and how much they loved his song and everything. Oh, it was a dead heartwarming documentary. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah.
Very emotional.
Yeah.
Sabozo makes me think of Redknapp, the way he runs, but far better as a player. World class he is, says Brian Headley. Mark Simon says, thank God Man City didn't get Paqueta from West Ham. He is a baller. And he is a baller. But you're getting the fans now saying, we should get him and all this.
And get everybody.
And Jake with Mo Salah, Frank, is in the same bracket as Rush or Souness, or the greatness of the mighty LFC. Totally agree with you, because he is. If you're talking about legends, you know.
Did you see that stat recently? The stat come up the other day after he scored versus Lask that only Thierry Henry's got one more goal for a foreign player playing in Europe for an English club. So one more goal, and we know he's going to score more than one. He'll be above Henry as the most highly scored foreign player ever in Europe for an English team. That's good, isn't it? That's a lovely stat, that. I'm having that stat all day.
He's got to be in our top 3 of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, fellas, that it was agreed by most early. I don't know what that is. Keegan Murphy says, Ryan Gravy boat. Jake Whittaker says, strong, leggy, quick. Do you guys see Gravenberg playing as a 6 and Mac and Dom as our mid going forward in a 4-3-3?
It's a possibility. possibility.
Yeah, got to see him yet. I've been having best. We've got to see him develop. He's only played one game.
And Charlie Wood says clickbait gets invested.
Yeah.
Roma injury, says Brian Edley. Arthur Schofield. That once the new sign and we get settled, they will come good. Yes. And this is what we've been talking about, so as soon as we get a number 6, a proper number 6, but it has to be quality. It's no use getting potential. And this is why I hope Andre, does fit the bill, but I think he does fit the bill, by the way. And Redbird says, sorry I'm late to the party. I've been consoling Antonio.
It must have took you a while, Redbird.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you'd have posted that in the dressing room. Stupid.
Yeah, look. My car got hit by a Tesco van a few years back. Turns out the driver was the kid who ran on the pitch and kicked Mbappe against Celtic.
Claim to fame, eh?
Claim to fame.
That's a good one, though. I like that.
The final in Dublin is incentive enough. Imagine being in Dublin for the final.
It'll be crazy.
It'll be absolutely mad.
We've got to get there. Definitely.
And Jake Whittaker says, I'm in Cape Verde. He's in Cape Verde.
Lucky you.
He's in Cape Verde. That's why I mentioned Cape Verde before. I know it's not the Champions League, but I'll be made up if we win it. No trophy should be sniffed at. They make up the numbers in our trophy rooms.
Right.
No, nobody seriously sniffs at the Europa League. People say, oh, it's not as good as the Champions League. It's always been a great competition. The UEFA Cup was a really hard competition to win. And you look at who's won it in England, and there aren't very many. And they haven't won it many times. We've won it the most. So obviously we're going to like it. But,
more games
how many trophies are there to win? There aren't many, are there? There's 2 major European trophies, and we've won both of them more than any other English club.
Yeah, Charlie Wood says, if we're talking black players, Frank, we must mention Howard Gale.
Howie Gale.
Howie, great bloke. Yeah, great.
Good lad, Howie Gale. Good lad, Howie Gale.
I gave a talk a few years back at it was in the ground somewhere, Anyway, it was there. It was at the boot room or something, There's a suite called the boot room, and I gave a talk, and I was with there was me, Francine, and Howard Gale, and I got like that. I said, "This noise, I won't be able to talk here." And Howard Gale just got up and shouted, "Shut up! This man's going to give us a talk." And they all shut up. Every one of them.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Lovely fella. Lovely man. It's still living over in Birkenhead as a funny name, Tommy or something like that. Yes. He's not on tonight, unfortunately. The gorilla was Ed Dorman at the Grafton station.
He was appalled by the violent nature of things.
With a few gorillas there, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got in trouble. On my show once because I said, I'm not going to say it tonight in case you get in trouble again. And I said, someone was talking about put a question up about the Grafton. And I said, yeah. And I said, did anybody ever do the squirrel dance? And all the things were coming in, all the comments. And they said, what was the squirrel?
It's got something to do with nuts, has it?
Yeah. Yeah, but don't say it. And I said it. And I got in trouble. Never been. Anyway. Near Broderick, Champions League to the Europa League. after the league phase, once eliminated, you're European. Yes. Yeah. Hang on, but you can't, once you're knocked out of the Champions League, you're eliminated. Yes.
Yeah, it used to be like that.
Letalec's flick for Garcia's goal against Juve says, yes. Yes, Charlie Wood. No one took their skin pads out in the 60s. You're right.
We didn't.
Oh, look at that. If the lights peeps, it won't hurt, I promise, says Redbird. Thank you. Thank you. The Dutch players have a good record. Bergkamp on the like. Bodes well with Gapco, Gravenberg and Virgil in the squad. That Firmino documentary is brilliant, Lee.
Sure was, man. Didn't half enjoy that.
And Brian Headley echoes it as well.
Yeah.
Gravenberg was compared style-wise with Pogba.
I can see that a bit. I can see why people said it. Like, it's not an outrageous comparison, like in style and their build and that, like, you know, the way they are. But we'll see.
Let's hope his character's better.
Yeah.
Anyway, our Gale has a book out, 61 Minutes in Munich, and that's right, he did.
Good book.
It's a shame, really, because he really doesn't get mentioned anymore. Does Al Howard?
I don't think. I think local. I think Scousers know Howie big time, but maybe there's an element of people who aren't from Liverpool who don't know Howie like we do. You know what I mean? Who don't remember him like we do. It's just another name. Some of them might not even know he was a Scouser. You know what I mean?
Well, 61 Minutes in Munich. That was his claim to fame, because Bayern didn't know what to expect. It's like young joke now. They don't know what to expect, the opposition. And he just goes on and terrorizes defense, and he just runs at them. He doesn't. This is what I mean about young joke. I think he's going to be great. Some of our fans, mainly maybe younger ones, do believe it or not, sniffed at the so-called lesser trophies. I call them trophy hunter flip-flops. Fans say Redbird.
Yeah.
Gravenberch is going to be a better than Pogba, says Redbird again. Yes. Every little
cost substantially less, didn't he? Pogba was at 100 million. Pogba cost 100 7 years ago, and Grav was 34 million this year. So there's a big difference in price, like, isn't there?
Yeah. And Neil Broderick said, Frank, Thiago pressed the like button, hurt his finger, and he's out for another 6 months.
Oh, poor old Thiago.
And I don't know whether I mentioned this myself. The Europa Cup used to be harder to win, and it was.
Yeah.
Because you had loads of games. There was more games to play than in the European Cup.
The difference in the old days, Frank, is if you had one bad night, you were out. The old European Cup, you had one off night in Eastern Europe, and you were out the competition. It weren't a league. Wasn't a Champions League. You couldn't lose in the back of beyond and then come back and win your next 5 games. You lost a game in Tbilisi, Sofia, Bucharest. You were probably out the competition.
Well, that's the point, because you had, for Liverpool under Bob Paisley to win it 3 times.
Yeah.
And then when Fagan came a couple of years later to win it 4 times in a matter of years, you had to be champions of your country.
Yeah.
And you had to get beat.
In the old days, those teams from Eastern Europe under the communist system, you were ostensibly playing their national team because their best players weren't allowed to go and play abroad under the communist system. If you played the Romanian champions, you were probably playing pretty much the Romanian national team. And that's the way it was. Same with Bulgaria, same with Georgia, same with Poland. I mean, even the Polish champions knocked Paisley's Reds out.
Tbilisi as well.
Yeah. Apart from Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest, all the other teams that knocked Paisley out the European Cup were from the communist bloc, were from the Eastern Bloc. Tbilisi, Sofia, and then the Polish champions, Vidzu Lodz. That's how the Spanish teams were rubbish in them days. They weren't that good, were they? Remember, we played Bilbao in like the second round and they were a bit crap.
Well, you had Real Madrid who was winning it more or less every year, unfortunately.
Not in the bloody 80s, though.
No.
They weren't nowhere near it in the 80s or the 70s, were they?
No.
They couldn't even...
Our Gay was kicked off the park in Munich in 1981 in the semi-final. He got on because of King Kenny's injury. His tenacity that night was outstanding, says Stephen Snape.
Yeah.
And we're going to make the European League popular again, says Redbird. And Gravenberch needs minutes to shake off the rust of being unused at Munich. The lad looks like a gem in the rough. Yeah, says John Gray. Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you.
Sure is.
And in 1984 semi-final proved your point, Lee. Very good. And it must have been Grabber Gorilla night at the Graft. So listen, who would your defence be, George? I'll come to you.
For tomorrow night's game?
Yeah.
You play Tsimikas, left back. You might bring the youngster in, Kwansai. Might play him.
I reckon so, yeah.
And either you might play Batisic right back, or you play Gomez right back, and play. I hope he plays Van Dijk because I think he needs games. He's coming on really well, and he'll help the young lad if he plays alongside him. So it'll either be Tsimikas, Van Dijk, Matip, and Gomez, or Tsimikas, Kwansai, Van Dijk, and Gomez.
Okay, I think that's good, though. And I think he will give Kwansai. Don't forget, you've got Slyboots there playing for Leicester.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
Chowsey? Or is it Uwendeezy? Do you mean Fowling players?
Can I just take this? Sorry about that. Go ahead, carry on, lads.
They've got some great players, Leicester, but I think Leicester won't play the full team. Really.
There's still a Prem level team, aren't they? It's probably like playing Bournemouth or.
Is Vardy playing for them at the moment?
Yeah.
They've
been a good team, haven't they, George? In recent memory, they have been a good team, and they were a bogey for us years ago, weren't they?
When I played for the club, they were a bogey team. Leicester, they knocked us out of the cup in the semi-final one year.
Yeah. 1-0. When Banks was their goalie, they were a massive bogey for us. I remember us losing at Anfield against Leicester. I remember going with my little brother who's been making comments, and we lost in 2000 when Martin O'Neill was the manager. We needed to win to get in the Champions League, and we didn't make it.
There was a guy called Sheesburn, a guy called Stringfellow. Frank McClintock played for them as well. He was a famous player. Little David Gibson. They had a good team.
Alan Smith. Gary Lineker.
Yeah, Gary Lineker played for them. Yeah. But even at the moment, the top of the championship, so they're sailing along quite well. So
they're banging form, George, aren't they?
Yeah. So we'll have to be careful. But I think we've got plenty of strength and depth to bring people on if we need to. I still think we'll win, though. Win quite comfortably.
Yeah. I think we'll win. Because, definitely. I think we'll win because the second string team is stronger now, isn't it? In Klopp's early years, like he didn't have much on the bench, but now we could go out with potentially a team that can win Premier League games and put them into cup competitions, can't we?
I mean, the last game we played against Lask, we had the bench was stronger than the team they played.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
He's right there about Leicester wanting promotion, and they might actually leave a couple of their best players out for this.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely a probability, like that they're going to leave a few players out.
Yeah, the money involved in them getting back in the Premier League is far more important than getting through the League Cup against Liverpool. But they'll still be going for it 100%. So we need to be on our game.
Yeah.
No, just before I was rudely into Vardy will be playing tomorrow.
I was just asking Lee about that, whether Vardy's still playing, and he said he is. Yeah, I didn't know whether he was injured. Well, we need to watch him because he's dangerous.
So, would you put Quansah alongside Verde?
He's got to come in sometime, Frank, and he got good rave reviews against Wolves. He's got to come in and show what he can do in a proper game at Anfield. It'd be a great time for the lad to come in and make a bit of a name for himself.
I really think it will, George. I think you're spot on. I think he's very good.
He would be up for it.
I think he deserves it. I think he deserves to start.
Yeah. And if he does well, you've got an extra string to your bow in the back four then. He'll be able to prove himself. He's only young.
Yeah, he is.
It'll probably be Canate. It'll probably be Canate that starts because he didn't the other day. Well,
yeah, you're right. That
seems a little bit obvious, maybe too obvious, but I would imagine that's what happens, that Canate plays with Quansah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got hang on, lads. I'm going to bring in my other guest, and it's this fella. Great.
The Greek magician.
Hey, hello, guys.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You hear me right?
You're out and about tonight, eh? You're not in your little den.
Yeah, sorry about that, but I had to see a friend of mine. So I hope you hear me right. You hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Nice to see you.
What's up, guys?
Oh, it's been great. We've had Kenny's Dalglish was on with us.
I missed that.
You missed him?
Yeah, I just missed him. Yeah, unbelievable. He had Ian Rush as well. He popped his little head in, and he was asking.
I will see the replay.
He was asking after you, Mario. He was wondering where you were. He said, "How come Mario's late?"
I'm gonna go. How are you anyway? How are you?
I'm fine. I'm really fine. I'm really glad about the team also.
Well, listen, I'm gonna ask you, Marios.
Yes.
We've mentioned this. Who would your midfield be tomorrow evening? Who's your midfield be?
Yeah, but I have to admit that I didn't see the game against Lask because I was at the Olympic Stadium of Athens watching Panathinaikos live. So I have no clue about what happened exactly at the Lask game. But I would definitely go for Endo again. I think he needs to get the time to adapt in the team's gameplay. That's what Klopp also said. He said that he needs to get used to the rhythm of the English reality. So I think it's a good opportunity for a good chance for Endo to play. Also for Gravenberch to gain some minutes again, to gain more minutes and to go as close as possible to the rhythm of the others. And why not Elliot again for the same reason?
Yeah. No, it's a good point, actually. It's a very good point. Emil Lasky was great for Leicester. That's why we bought him to partner Owen says Mark Simons. He's absolutely right there, by the way. Ivanhoe. That was his name, wasn't it, Ivanhoe? The younger lad.
Ivanhoe was his middle name,
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
middle name, that Ivanhoe.
Yeah. The younger lad, Doug, seems to have the will to do well for LFC, just like Fowler and Stevie McManaman and Jason McAteer, as when they were involved. Near a local lad, yeah, from near a local lad from Warrington. But yeah, that's what gets me. Do you reckon that a Scouser should be in our team? He's got to be good. Like Curtis Jones and Trent. I think there's always an element of having a Scouser, a Liverpool-born lad in the team. What's your take on that, Marios? Do you think that there should always be a Liverpool-born lad and a supporter of the Reds in the team?
Who said that?
Me? I've just said.
Yes. It would. I think we need to have as much Scousers as possible in the near future, because this is one of Jürgen's visions to have. He once said when we won the championship in 2020, he said that my dream is one day to have a team full of Scousers. So. Yeah, in games like that also, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Europa League, like against Lask, there is also a chance to use Scousers with from the youth team. But yes, we have Trent, we have Curtis, who have flourished, who is flourishing, but we need more Scousers for the near future, for sure. And yes, that's a good point from yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so I'm going to. Hey, Marios, says Stephen Smith. And Yamas Marios, says Brian Headley. They're all speaking Greek. And we were also saying, George, about the defence. He wants Tsimikas in. And we all agree on that anyway. I think Tsimikas will be getting more minutes now. What do you reckon?
You in a tunnel there, Marios?
Sorry?
You in a tunnel?
No. I'm outside. It's just night, and it seems like I'm in a tunnel. So it's a question to me.
Yeah, about Tsimikas. We've all agreed that Tsimikas.
Would you mind repeating it? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that Tsimikas should be playing tomorrow at left back?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. First and foremost, I think it's there's no need for Robertson to push himself more. I think it's these games is why we have that backups like Tsimikas to give the fresh the breath, the needed breath to players from the starting lineup. So I think there's no need for Robbo to play tomorrow. And yeah, I think Tsimikas will play, and maybe his confidence will be much more bigger, because yesterday he renewed his contract, and that's big news for him, big news for the team, because there was a lot of speculation, especially here in Greece. There were many people saying, "Oh, why he's not leaving Liverpool because he's not playing so much." And right now he renewed the contract. It was like, "Oh wow, he stayed at Liverpool because he loves his role in the club. He knows he's the backup, right,
and
left back."
He loves the city and the fans as well. That should be brought into the equation.
Yeah. That's what you want, isn't it?
We love Greece. Scousers love Greece. O Muse, sing to me of the rage of Achilles, son of Peleus, and bringer of much sorrow and destruction to the Achaeans. Bit of Homer for you there.
Yeah, a little bit of Homer. God, blimey. Hey, Aristotle, they're all coming in.
I'll have to recite the address to the haggis.
I can do a bit of Shakespeare, but that's about all. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely. And I agree, Mario, with what you said, Marios, with what you said about Enzo.
Yes.
Endo. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, he needs to play. Yes.
we made a blog offer for Maguire, and Chelsea came back and said, we're not falling for that one.
It's a cracker.
Brian Headley, I think it boils down to the fact that it's always football, Man City, and there will always be one that will be good enough to play for the Reds, regardless of in the city, says Brian Headley. I think that's smashing their little thing.
McManaman and Fowler were two of the greatest, weren't they?
Marios, yeah, he was saying Marios was looking for his shirt. He must have fell off the clothesline. That's why he's outside. So listen, lads, a prediction for tomorrow.
Who do you want me?
Yeah, go ahead, George. Anyone.
I think we'll win. You know me, Frank. I never think we'll lose at Anfield. The record proves it. We just don't lose at Anfield. It'd be an absolute shock if we do. We've got such a big squad that Jurgen can do whatever he wants. You can move him around, bring him in. Things aren't going too well. We'll have too much. So I would say, looking at maybe 2-3-0. 3-0.
Yeah. 3-0.
Yeah.
What do you say, Lee?
I'm going to go 3-1 again, just because it's in vogue as a result.
Header.
Okay. What about you, Marios? What's your prediction?
I'm pretty sure we will win in the 90 minutes. I don't think we have a lot of problems. I was always not comfortable when we play Leicester in a cup match, but right now it's completely different because Leicester City is not in Premier League anymore. So I think a 4-0 comfortable win.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And maybe Doug scores.
Yeah, that'll be good, wouldn't it? And we'll win by 3 clear goals tomorrow, says Stephen Snape. And pens again will do me against Leicester and no injuries. He comes out with some crackers, doesn't he? Pens? I don't want pens. I certainly don't want pens. But I think we're too good for Leicester to get to penalties. Well, no one's too good for anybody in cup games, but I think 3 clear goals for me.
I think we'll beat them without penalties. And extra time. We've got too much in reserve this season, so
exactly.
the team that we put out will be too good for them, I think.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. The forwards are absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
More or less every game we've won, our forwards have scored. All our forwards, every one of them. You've only got to look at the game.
Do you know if there is a draw, there's immediately penalties or extra time? Immediately penalties. Yes, penalties.
Yeah. It's extra time then penalties, isn't it?
Yeah.
Extra time then.
There is extra time. Yes. Okay. Yes.
So yeah.
That's true. And as Arthur Schofield says, Vale, that's true. They say things comes in threes. And we've been getting threes lately, haven't we? And that's what I said about all our forward scoring.
I'd like to see us starting. I'd like to see us starting a bit better. We've been a bit slow off the blocks. And we could have lost 2 goals against West Ham in the first 10 minutes.
Yes.
So a bit tight at the back in the beginning anyway.
Yeah, no, I think you're right there, George, because we have been a little lethargic, haven't we?
Yeah.
We have been a little lethargic in the opening minutes. And I think if we did...
Second half, we've been brilliant in every game. Second half.
Yes.
We need to do that in the first half.
And there's always a reaction when we concede a goal.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yes.
We didn't concede first, but we conceded, and we got equalized right before the half time. It was a crucial moment in the game. It could be crucial, but the team showed patience, and we found the second goal, and we reacted. That's the point. We reacted once again.
And Curtis's goal was a fraction offside. Curtis Jones's goal.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a shame. So close.
And it is a shame, actually. It is, because we said it was a hand or something. It was just... That would have been one of the, goal of the month, the competition goal of the month, along with Nunez's goal, because that's a set to go.
It was a pretty goal, wasn't it? If it was a stud, it would have been a very pretty goal, like footballing terms.
And he knew, didn't he, that he was just off. He just knew he was just off. He nodded, didn't he? He nodded.
You could see him going.
Yeah.
Your poor old Curtis.
Yeah, which is a shame. But never mind, what we're doing is this. We're getting on the roll, and it's a great roll. And you've only got to look back to this time last season, and we were awful. We were dreadful. And everyone
weren't even that good, Frank. We were worse than that.
Yeah, but we were all wondering, weren't we? Where we were going. What's happening? Because we could actually see the midfield completely depleted. It was depleted.
We reached 16 points last season, again against West Ham United at Anfield, but it was 1 month later.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference, Marios. That's the big difference this year. What a start we had.
It is.
Yeah.
And we're all rolling on confidence as well.
Only 2 points behind City. Only 2 points behind City,
Yeah.
It's nothing.
And we're all rolling with confidence. Not only that, but we're rolling with legs, if you get me meaning. We're rolling with legs. And that's the most important thing, because we can press. We can take the ball off the opposition. We can run with it. We can score. And this is the big difference from last season. Because when we went behind last season, we stayed behind.
Yeah.
We stayed behind.
Yeah, we've got so many options this year.
But Stephen Snape says, given enough game time, Curtis will score more goals. He was key in such a strong finish last season. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Charlie,
he has a lot of energy. He was one of the big surprises last month. He has worked really, really hard, and that's what is obvious, because I always remember Curtis was a little bit slower than the rest of the team, a step slower, and now he's running like crazy until the last minutes of the game, and it's exceptional. It's exceptional. He presses like crazy. It's wow.
They're all competing for places now. We've got such an array of players. Everybody's fighting for a place in the team, so they're all working really hard, pushing hard, pressing high again.
He's one of the survivors of the rebuild, of the midfield rebuild. That's
very much so. He's still a young man, still a young player.
And a scarcer one.
Yeah, his legs are young. Milner, Henderson, Fabinho, their legs have got old, haven't they?
Yeah, that's right. We've got a young team now.
Are you glad that Klopp didn't give Milner another season? Because he wanted another contract a year.
As much as I love Millie, I was glad that
he wouldn't have been playing. He wouldn't have been playing. He'd have been coming on for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Giving away
possibly the greatest free signing ever for Liverpool. Have we had a better one? Who was a better freebie than Milner? Did we have one?
I can't think of too many.
No, I can't think of many.
Yeah.
Not free transfer.
No.
Robertson's been a good bargain for 8 million.
Oh, wow, yeah. The greatest 8 million we ever gave.
8 million.
Well, Charlie Wood says 3-1 again, boys. That's what he's saying. Steve Evans says, just beat the Oil FC home and away. I think what he's saying is we'll win the league if we beat them.
I think we can beat City twice this season. It'll take a slice of luck, a ludicrously large slice of luck. But I think we're due a ludicrously large slice of luck against Man City and in a title race. Whereas we've missed out in the last few years on small margins. I think it could happen this year. That
very small margins. Remember Salah's ball was quarter of an inch from him being over the line.
Yeah.
And then Stevie Gerrard's team.
Isn't it our turn? Surely, in the name of all that is holy, it is our turn this year to have some bloody luck like that. Small margins, beat them, get ahead of them.
We've got a good record against City, haven't we? I've got a good record in the last few years. We've beaten them quite a few times, especially at Anfield.
Well, Steve Evans says, Curtis looks like he has grown from the showboating he has been guilty of in the past. And he was a showboater.
Yeah.
He was a showboater. Now he's getting
young players are like that. That's young players for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get out of it.
Yeah, he's playing more simply.
Yeah. And as Stephen Snape says, the difference is we now have box-to-box midfielders, whereas last season our midfielders just skated in the circumference of the centre circle. The energy is back.
Yeah.
100%. Good to see.
I'm going to ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
And I'll go to you, Marius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Bosley, if Liverpool were going to sell him tomorrow, we've only had him since August, remember, playing. If Liverpool was to sell him tomorrow, do you think we'd make a profit?
Yes.
Yes. Simple as that.
Exactly. His impact is so massive and immediate, and he has give the team, and he has made the team to another level, really another level. He's always great, and I don't remember who said that in the last podcast, that he always sees forward. He doesn't look behind when he takes the ball. He looks forward, and he's an attacking minded, and that's crazy. That's really nice. I think yes, of course, much profit, of course.
Yeah.
No, you're right, absolutely. What about you, George? Do you think we'd make a nice profit?
They'd make a huge amount of profit. The thing is, as well, some of these players that Klopp signed, he hasn't paid huge amounts of money for them. Even you go back to Mane and Firmino and only Van Dijk and Alisson, he paid reasonably big. Even Salah didn't cost us that much, did he, when he signed? And McAllister and Szoboszlai together, the price of them was as much as he would have paid for Caicedo. So we've had some great bargains, and I think we've got some really world-class players on board now. And Szoboszlai, I don't know, what did we pay for him? About 60 million, 50 million? You double it now. You could double it.
50, yes.
That's brilliant there from Steve Evans. I'm having that. That's brilliant. Robbo cost 1 million in the end, with Kevin Stewart going to Hull for 8 million. I remember Kev Stewart, and he wasn't bad. He was a prospect, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But to send him one way, bring Robbo the other way, and only part with 1 million in cash. I mean, that's daylight robbery, that, isn't it? Daylight robbery for Robbo, that, isn't it?
And then you got Trent coming through the academy. Curtis coming through the academy, Elliott coming through the academy.
George, look at how much Man City have spent on left backs. Look how much Man City have spent on left backs since Pep's been there. It's a bloody fortune.
Yeah. And Man United has spent a fortune on players. Chelsea spent how much? Nearly $1 billion.
Oh my God!
And the line in the relegation zone, 2 points out of Everton.
Kyle Walker and Benjamin Mendy cost more than Salah, Firmino and Mane did.
Yeah.
Just absorb that fact. Just let that run around your brain for a while. That our front three cost less. than City's 2 fullbacks that Pep bought that summer after he first arrived and had 1 season. He bought Walker and Mendy. It cost more than Firmino, Mane and Salah.
Mendy's hardly played. He's been in court most of the time. No, we're doing great, boys.
It shows you, though. Sobbo's not getting sold, Frank. I told you today. No money could afford the lad. No money could afford the lad.
He's only just starting.
Exactly. All I'm saying is that's how people look at him. And I'm talking not just us as Liverpool fans, but I'm talking about other managers. I'm talking about journalists. I'm talking about commentators and other fans on other pods. You know, they're saying that Szoboszlai is absolutely amazing. Yes. And like, obviously, forget all the big money that Chelsea's paid out and Pep's paid out for their players. This fella will be the bargain of the season.
Yeah.
He is the bargain of the season.
Yes.
He is the bargain of the season.
I mean, we're going to say that as Liverpool fans, aren't we? But I don't think we're being hyperbolic or ridiculous by saying that he's a bargain, are we?
Of course not. No.
I mean, come on. Look at the prices. Look at some of the prices that people have went for. Jadon Sancho, 75 million.
Yeah.
There's not many players have come in. Not many players have come into a team and settled down and performed like he's performed so quickly. He must have played 7 or 8 games for us, and every one he's been outstanding.
Yeah, you're right. As Stephen Snape says, Szoboszlai knows he's learning from the best pound-for-pound manager in the game, as does McAllister. Their age gives them an inherent longevity.
Bang on the money, Snapey. Bang on the money there, mate.
Yeah. That's brilliant point, Bars, about Pep spending on the left back.
Yeah.
And you're right. At the moment, when you look at other teams, LFC is showing more promise than most. The most.
Yeah.
And they are, great comments tonight, by the way. Really good, because there's no holding back on them. And, even the Squirrel dance was mentioned. And Steve Evans is... wouldn't swap any manager for Jürgen.
No.
Well, it's a foregone conclusion, isn't it? Yes. Remember last season, boys? What were they saying when we were going through a bad time? They were actually asking for Klopp to go.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous. He won every trophy in the game.
Pathetic. What do you think of, with Pochettino? And I think Pochettino's a great manager, by the way. So there must be unrest in the dressing room. That's all that I can put it down to, because he can't play
I like him.
Well, it's money, isn't it? There's so much money flying about Chelsea, and there's so many players. Everybody can't play in the team, so you've got about 40 professionals playing for 11 places. You just can't keep throwing money and bringing players in left, right, and centre. You've got to have a Klopp's got a plan, and that's why our plan's working.
Yes.
We don't have a plan, just throwing money at it. Think that'll solve it. It doesn't solve it. You've got to have talented players in the right position. You've got to have a damn good manager. You're right, Pochettino's a good manager, but he hasn't won nothing yet, has he? Has he ever won anything?
Don't think so. He's been close, but he hasn't done the biz yet, has he? Or did he win something with PSG? But that sort of doesn't count, does it?
Not really. No. Yeah, I wouldn't say that counts. It's like Bayern Munich, isn't it? They win every year. Like Celtic.
Well, look, it counts, but it counts less. Let's put it kindly. It counts, but it counts less.
Yeah. Like the book said, the social one says, Klopp's a perfect fit for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is. He is.
That reminds me, lads, I've got to do this. I'm sorry about all this.
Thank you, Stephen Snape.
Yes, Stephen Snape. Got to do this.
Snapey.
If you go on a match tomorrow, get down to, he opens for 2 hours. before every home game. And it's that scarf or badge, and the great quality stuff. They really are great quality stuff. That's Michael Dean and his lovely wife, Michelle. Just get down there. And it's only a small business, but they sell quality stuff. And they're online as well, so you can get online and get them. That's scarforbag.com. Just get down there. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm on my way, Frank. I'm on my way. I've phoned the taxi.
Have you? Okay. And Jamie Phillips, I just want to wish his daughter all the best. You know, she's in hospital. She has an 8-hour operation, but she's recovering. She's recovering, Jamie Phillips, and he's a friend of the show. He does come on, as you know, and he's such a nice fella, big red, and let's hope that, you know, she pulls through. But she will pull through, not hope she pulls through. She will pull through, a little child. And this is Marios Manzos, the social one. Why Jurgen Klopp was a perfect fit for Liverpool. Now, this fella is an author, whoever he is this Marios Manzos. And he's done a fabulous job. He really has done a fabulous job on this. And if anyone hasn't got it, get it, because it's #1 in the book.
Is that you, Marios? Marios here done this?
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah. Is that your book, Marios?
Yes, this is mine.
Oh, brilliant.
Thank you so much, mister. Thank you so much.
Cheers. I'll look into that, mate. I'll look out for that, definitely.
No, it's really good. It gives you another flip side of football, and it gives you the flip side of social values and their personalities, and that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. It's brilliant.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you so much, mate.
Reds Odyssey. We conquered all of Europe, champions under lockdown, Stanley Park, the Lost Shankly Boy, and the Untouchables. What a collection. And every one a gem. Every one a gem. Brilliant. And there's the Lost Shankly Boy there, George Scott's Anfield journey. And this is his own story. And there's George Scott sitting right above you, Lee.
Look like one of the Beatles there, Frank.
I got a phone call before, as someone said, "You're like Vincent Price. You just in the day, you just see your head." Or you see your head. Anyway, so I've got to go on. I'm sorry there, boys. Just let me.
Thanks, Frank.
A fantastic book written by a true legend, Jurgen Klopp, says about George Sefton's The Voice of Anfield. And that was a great thing there. But let me just say let me go back a minute. And the Lost Shankly Boy. And it's a fantastic read of a young kid coming all the way down from Scotland to Liverpool, never been here before, under Shankly. Of all people, under Shankly. And
sounds lovely, George. Sounds like a lovely book, mate.
A very emotional journey it was, and a very emotional book to write. You know, and it's been so successful. I mean, it's 3 years now since it was published, and it's still moving along beautifully. So it's a legacy. I think that's the main thing.
It is a legacy. It's your legacy, George. It's like everything else, you know, once Shankly's mentioned, people, you know, they go, whoa, you know, who's this fella, and they buy it. And the Lost Shankly Boy. And as someone said, it was a great quote, wasn't it? The Lost Shankly Boy is no more. Frank Carlyle found him. I thought that was great, but someone.
I'll have to get to work on my own book, Frank. I haven't got one, mate.
Haven't you?
No.
Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a story.
Everybody.
Of course, yes.
And look at this. We had dreams and songs to sing.
We always will. We always will.
That's Keith Salmon for you. And it's, you know, they're just great books about a great club.
But we've got such a history, haven't we? We've got such an amazing history as a club. Stretching
Yes.
right back to Shankly.
Yes.
Right back
Yes.
to Shankly.
I think there's something about Scousers more than some other English people like that. We like to put things in song and put things in story. I mean, everyone does that. Like, it's a very human thing. But compared to other English clubs, we just have better songs and stories, don't we? All right, we've got a better history, but our way of articulating who we are is infinitely better in song, isn't it? I mean, poor Scouser Tommy, what a song that is. Have you ever heard anything approaching that from rival fans?
Yeah.
We were the first crowd to sing the Cup. And the very first match of the day, they were singing the Beatles, She Loves You, the whole of the Cup. So we were the first crowd that started to sing. And then You Never Walk Alone came along. And we sang to that, and everything led from there.
I remember
Tommy, a fabulous song.
Well, I remember in '65 we were actually singing, you know, not the national anthem, but we were singing "God Save Our Gracious Team."
Yeah.
God Save Our Gracious Team.
Isn't that like, it's really subversive, but it's dead easy to do, which is very Scouse in its essence, isn't it? Like,
yeah. You can't, you know, if another one comes out, it's like God Save the King, God Save Kenny our King, you know. So there's always, you know, we can always sneak a little word or two in.
In that cup final, the Liverpool crowd was singing "The Queen's Wearing Red."
Yeah.
E-I-A-D-O, the Queen's Wearing Red.
Yeah, certainly we're singing that as well. I always remember the first banner, and it was the World Cup. And it was at Wembley, and it was the final against West Germany, and there was a banner up, and it said, "Next to Liverpool, England's are the greatest." Never forget that. It's always resonated with me, and there's two banners that stand out for me, because as that book said, songs and banners, you know, and I'll tell you what it was. When Shankly died, there was a young kid on it. There's a cracking picture. And he's got a banner up, a little banner like that. And it's got "Lives Forever."
Shankly
yeah, that's a brilliant one, though. I love that
one.
Yeah. I get goosebumps in the back of my neck every time I look at that photograph.
And, you know, I mentioned it on the show once because someone said, well, you know, about the banners. And I said, that one was the greatest I've seen. And I mentioned, and he said, that was me. The lad who was holding it was it. And he's on someone's shoulders, you know, and he's just brilliant photograph.
Well, he does live forever in the hearts and minds of every Liverpool.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Hand in hand, Postecoglou. Big Shanks fan.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, right. I'll tell you the other banner. And it was at Istanbul. What do you think it was? Or was it Rome? No, it was Istanbul, wasn't it? What do you think it was? We mentioned this place before.
The Grafton, yeah. If you think this place is rough, you want to see the Grafton on a Thursday night.
Yeah, if you think this is hell, welcome to hell.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely.
My favourite banners were from when I was like young, when I was like 10 or 11, around that age. And it was, sadly, it was at Heysel, but we had a banner saying, "Man United, this is the big cup," because they'd just been in the FA Cup final against Everton. Yeah. And the other one was a little bit more vulgar. It said, "Big Ronak goes tart" is an SLUT.
Yeah.
You remember the Joey Jones banner?
And I thought it was funny because he was Man United manager. And he was from Liverpool. Big Ron from Old Swan.
Oh, Big Ron from the Swan, yeah. Go on, George, what was you saying?
The Joey Jones banner, that was a cracker, wasn't it? Remember?
Oh,
it was a legendary banner. It's a long... I can't remember it now, but it was really good. Yeah,
Eats Frank's legs and makes the Swiss roll. Brilliant.
that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, we've had some
Charlie
great
Wood.
banners over the years.
Charlie Wood, the social one, so good, I got it twice.
He got it twice. Well, he read it twice. That's the thing.
Isn't that brilliant?
Thank you, Charlie.
Luckily,
Thank you.
been a brilliant show, Frank. Thanks to all the participants. This show is indicative of the lyrical spontaneity of our fans.
He's great, isn't he? He's great with words, isn't he? Snake.
Well, we are a verbose bunch, Scousers, and any fans of Liverpool pick that up from us. Like they also pick up the sesquipedalian nature of Scouse patter.
I'm feeling raw. Good
It's
evening,
not
everyone.
Scousers.
Frank, George, Marios, and Vars, and there's a load of pints for us.
Anfield
Thank
Road.
Right to the show, like. I'm feeling raw. What a name!
He's
that
just
is.
come in from the pub.
Yeah, of course he has. That's why he's been. He must have had a big crate for them. It was on LFC TV one night, Frank, that the first flag on the Kop was from a ship, just plain red and white stripes with some sort of badge in the corner. And Arthur Schofield, Wales, oh, that should be Vars. When you get to Ireland, don't forget to sing the Fields of Athelrye. Absolutely.
It'll be done. It'll be done. And I want to see where Joyce was born as well and where he grew up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicker's dream, yeah. Brilliant.
Snapey says, my favourite banner is Make Us Dream. That's a cracker, though. But every banner. Charlie Wood, Joey's Munches, Glad
That's the one. That's the one, yeah. The Untouchables, that's a good one as well.
Oh, Carr's replica banner of Joey Jones was a cracker in Istanbul.
I don't remember that one. What was it? What was it? I don't remember that one.
It made the Swiss roll. I can't remember the
Was
rest.
Chelsea in it? Did he put Chelsea in it? Or is it?
I don't
It was
know.
about the European Cup.
Blooming tonight, bars of flowers, says Stephen Snake.
Thank you, thank you.
He's not coming on again. Great show, Frank. George, Lee, and Marios.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Isn't it great? And yeah, there's another one there what Brian McGivern says, and it's only a little one. Off to the match we go. And you see the dad with the kid.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Isn't that brilliant? So I'm glad you mentioned that, Brian. That's a cracking one as well.
Yeah.
And it's so simple, isn't it? And when after Hillsborough, you had the two kids, didn't you? One in a red jersey and one in a 96.
Yeah, Everton and Liverpool.
Yeah. And I thought that was brilliant. Stephen Snape, Charlie Wood, you never walk alone. And loyalty, fanaticism, and commitment, say Stephen Snape. And Mark Simons, Marios, what a great insight into Jurgen. Great book.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark.
And these are the people who have actually bought it and are reading it as well, which is
Thank you.
great.
I'll get a copy, Marios. Once I've read it, I'll let you know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much. The bottom of my
I
heart.
like the title. The title is a great title. That's catchy to me. Like saying the social one, like playing on that aspect of Klopp, that he knows how to communicate with people. Like, I mean,
yes.
I said that to Marios. I said, we're a socialist city. And Marios, don't forget, is an Athens lad. And he lives over there. And when you look at Jurgen Klopp is a perfect fit for Liverpool. Because he looked into the backgrounds of Jurgen and his socialist views as well.
Oh, Marios, I did enjoy Greece winning the Euros, lad. That was lovely. That was very nice.
2004, yes.
Yeah, it was well deserved. It was well deserved. Okay,
Thank
the
you.
football wasn't
No,
pretty,
I'll tell you what,
it's
I
about
think,
winning. The game's about winning, isn't it? And Greece won.
I think
England
yeah.
have never won that,
Lee,
Marios. England have never won that.
Lee, he's deaf, you know. Lee, stop it. I'm fed up talking about John Travolta and Greece. No one got that anyway, so I'll just leave it. Our destiny is
No,
written in our history, says Redbeard. Think about that. That's great philosophy. It's like as though it's come from Aristotle, doesn't it? Or Plato. Our destiny is written in our history. How about that? That's fantastic. That's
Did
brilliant.
Plato have a brother called Cuppo?
Have you? Couple.
That's a childish one, that, isn't it? Plate and cup.
Yes.
Plate and cup. It ends with now Shevchenko cannot sleep because Carrot is coming to town. Thinks it's to do with the lad that died and his dad. I don't know about that. That's
I think Shevchenko still has nightmares about Istanbul, about Dudek's double save and about the penalty he missed.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Double save. And he scored, didn't he, as well? But it was well offside. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's brilliantly, because you're going on about the social. It's brilliantly a real engrossing epistle.
Thank you. Thank you so much. No words. Really.
After the match we go is one about the kid. Yeah, it's brilliant. Kenny's Dalglish fanatic. The best one was Jesus saves and Dalglish scores from the rebound.
We had a banner hanging out of our window. Kenny Dalglish is cooler than the Fonz. When I was about 9 or 10, it was my stepdad's banner. He hung it out of our window, like we lived up in the air off the ground in a block of flats. We put it out the window. I think it was for the 1983 season. But some of the local lads on our estate used to give me shit about it, like saying, your dad thinks he's Kenny Dalglish. Why? Because he put a banner out the window. Shut up, will you?
Redbeard says it took 6 days to create the world. On the 7th day, he made LFC. Just brilliant. Plato and Cuppo were also from Stoke-on-Trent, you know, says Stephen Snape, because he comes from Stoke. Plato from Stoke. Mario, the new look suits you, says Arthur Schofield.
Just sporty look. No, nothing new. Exactly.
Drinking sake in Japan and on the Joe. Yeah, we went over there and for the World Cup thing, World Club Cup thing. And, you know, it was all in the papers. You see these lads there. And they said, look at them all drinking, you know, sake. And they're all on the dole. I was shocked. And this was to bring Liverpool down yet again. I remember that. Anyway, oh yeah, Houllier, wine for my men. We rise at dawn, says Kenny Dalglish fanatic. Well, lads, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you so
much.
Thanks for having us, Frank.
Yes, Frank.
Been lovely.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, boss.
Yeah, Marios.
Thank you so much. Yamas, guys.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. See you next week, Marios. Okay.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Okay. And George, see you next week.
Yeah, thanks. See you later. I'll see you soon. Thanks very much, Frank. Thanks very much.
Thank you, George. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
See you next week, Lee. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, mate. Thank you so much. And it's just for me to say thank you so much. Thank you for joining the lads tonight, myself and the lads. And as I said, It's been great. Great comments as usual. Wonderful comments. And I'll see you all on Thursday. Yes, got a poddy on Thursday. See you all then. And if you missed Thursday, I'll see you all next Tuesday. And if you're all history buffs, I'll see you all on Monday with a little bit of history on the ordinary French. Thank you so much, people. And I'll see you soon. Ciao.